Now, before I get into what I'm about to get into, I just want to make sure that each and every one of you guys hit that like or dislike button. Don't forget to put some motherfucking Coach K Duke full court pressure on that sub button if you're new to the channel. And be sure to ring that noti bell so you can be notified via email each and every time your boy E Thriller, aka Ham Rothstein, aka the Black Picasso, because I paint these pictures so vividly with my words on the sport of basketball whenever I feel like it. And once again, basketball fans, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Now, today's live stream podcast is going to be about James Harden because, in my honest opinion, if James Harden doesn't get it done in the city of Philadelphia, I believe his career and legacy is going to take a hit. And I know what you're asking. You're saying, damn, E Thriller, how is James Harden one of the greatest scorers in NBA history? You know, this man is practically an MVP candidate each and every time he steps foot on the floor. How would his legacy take a hit if he doesn't get it done in Philly? Well, to answer your question, man, I feel like whenever you're James Harden and you go into a situation that once again you force your way into because you forced your way out of not one but two situations, two great situations. I mean, let that shit sink in, y'all. James Harden forced his way out of Houston, in which he had a great fucking roster. He didn't want to play with a Chris Paul. He didn't get along with him. He couldn't get along and play alongside Russell Westbrook, even though he wanted him. And then once he seen that shit wasn't working, he forced his way out to Brooklyn via trade by coming into camp out of shape and basically saying, look, I don't want to be here for this rebuilding phase with the Houston Rockets, which I get that. I did not fault him for wanting to get out of Houston to go play with a Kevin Durant and a Kyrie Irving. But I mean, he didn't even give a nigga time to, you know what I'm saying, to take a shit and fart before he said, you know what? I want out of this bitch. And I don't know what happened. I obviously think something had to happen behind the scenes between James Harden and the Brooklyn Nets because for him to want out so goddamn fast, it makes absolutely no sense, right? So now that he wanted out, even though the big three, whenever they were on the floor, for whatever reason, they went 13-3. I mean, these dudes were virtually unbeatable. So I can only imagine the goddamn display or the repertoire they would have been able to put up in the goddamn playoffs because Kevin Durant went tooth and nail with the Milwaukee Bucks by his goddamn self after Kyrie Irving went down and James Harden was basically hobbled on one goddamn leg due to that hamstring injury, right? You understand what I'm saying? But outside of that, now that James Harden has forced his way out, in the city of Philadelphia, I mean, they are licking their chops because they haven't had a player, pardon me, this goddamn electrifying since Allen Iverson, y'all. I know Joel Embiid is a superstar, and I know Joel Embiid is basically outside of Nikola Jokic is the best center in the game, right? But to bring in a guy like James Harden, who is being deemed as the quote unquote savior, he's the savior because I'm going to be honest, the Philadelphia 76ers have everything in place to get it done. So there should be no excuses for James Harden to go out here and to figure this shit out, man. Because he has perimeter defenders. He has perimeter shooting surrounding him with Tobias Harris. You understand what I'm saying? And Maxey and all them other boys in Philly. Of course, he has the most dominant big in the game outside of Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid, who has been playing like the league's MVP. He's in that conversation. He's in that discussion because he is going out and dominating. You understand what I'm saying? He's not settling for the jumpers anymore. He's playing back to the basket. He's facing you up. He's giving you shimmies. He's giving you dream shakes. You understand what I'm saying? He booming on niggas, giving them cashews. You understand what I'm saying? The pick and pop game is working. Everything is flowing for a Joel Embiid. The only thing I'm worried about whenever it comes to a Joel Embiid is his health. I just don't trust his health. You understand what I'm saying? And shout out to my boy Splash Master 03 in this bitch. I appreciate you for pulling up this morning, my guy. He said James Harden got the Kardashian curse. Hey man, that's a good point. Because you know what? He was with Chloe at one point in the time. And wasn't Ben Simmons with goddamn, I forgot her name. It wasn't Kylie. It was the other sister. I forgot her name. I don't pay attention to the Kardashians, but yeah, salute to you, bro. Back to what I was saying. James Harden is being deemed as a savior, man, because he got a great coach, even though he has been labeled as a choker, in Doc Rivers, who has got it done with the Boston Celtics. You know, he came up short with the Los Angeles Clippers, but there's absolutely no reason, once again, for the Philadelphia 76ers not to be able to figure this shit out. Now, of course, going into this situation, I'm not picking them as the favorites to come out the East because I got the Milwaukee Bucks. Because Giannis Antetokounmpo appears to be on a mission, and nobody, and I repeat, nobody plays harder than a Giannis Antetokounmpo for an entire 48 minutes. Pardon me. That man is balls to the wall. He's playing all out, all the fucking time. I respect Giannis Antetokounmpo to the highest degree now. I have nothing negative to say about him because the man has improved on his game, right? But back to James Harden. James Harden has to figure out how to get this shit done because his legacy, I'm going to be honest with you, has already taken a hit due to him not being able to, what do you call it, produce in the playoffs because the nigga has been labeled as a choker. He came up small against the San Antonio Spurs, right? He came up small when he was in OKC coming off the bench before he went to Houston. The man came up small against the Golden State Warriors whenever Chris Paul went down with that goddamn hamstring injury in what was it, game 4? James Harden didn't show up in the last 3 goddamn games, and he was a part of one of the biggest fucking debacles in NBA history whenever the Houston Rockets missed, what was it, 27 and 28 straight three-pointers? I mean, really, James Harden is far too talented not to be able to figure out how to stop the bleeding. You understand what I'm saying? You got to get to the cup and get some easy ones. But for whatever reason, James Harden, along with his Houston Rockets, continue to settle. So they ended up losing to the much more well-efficient, well-oiled machine at the time in the Golden State Warriors. But having said all of that, James Harden hasn't played with this amount of talent ever since he left the Houston Rockets that had a chance to defeat the Golden State Warriors that year, in my honest opinion. Because the Brooklyn Nets, for whatever reason, man, they just wasn't able to all play for that many games, right? And my boy Splash said Nets win the trade. Harden shoot like 5% from the field in the clutch. That's facts. Big facts. That's a hell of a point. That's what I'm talking about right now, bro. Like James Harden. I mean, this is my guy. I love James Harden to death. Anybody that knows me will tell you, I love James Harden. But I really don't appreciate the way that he's been moving as of late. And then I just think it's a bad look because did y'all see whenever Kevin Durant and LeBron, who are the team captains for the All-Star game, did y'all see what KD did? KD didn't even want to pick that nigga, y'all. That just lets me, pardon me, that just lets me know that there's some sort of animosity between the two parties. I really think the niggas got into it. I think James Harden wanted to still play that style and that brand in basketball with the no dribble, pick and roll, step back, shoot. And in Brooklyn, they weren't having it. They wanted to play a more team-oriented basketball game because you have 3 elite scorers who all need the ball. So James Harden had to sacrifice the most by playing the point guard position, which he's highly capable of. Hell, in my opinion, when he's healthy, he's the best point guard in the league because can't nobody driving the dish better than James Harden. Can't nobody driving the dish better than James Harden. Can't nobody damn near get to the cup when he's healthy better than James Harden. That's just my personal opinion. But for whatever reason, I think behind the scenes, I'm no insider. Once again, I don't know what's going on, but I do feel like from the outside looking in, something had to happen behind the scenes. I don't know if him and Kyrie Irving got into it. I don't know if it was him and Kevin Durant. I don't fucking know. But one thing I know is the shit don't make any sense because why would you leave that amount of talent to go to Philly? And not to say that Philly don't have talent. And that's not to say Philly can't win because, again, that's what this video is about. I think if James Harden doesn't get it done based on how he forced his way out of Brooklyn, his career and legacy is going to take a hit. We got to call a spade on my channel, whether we like or dislike a player or a boxer or whatever the fuck we talking about, right? James Harden is on a hot seat. And so is Coach Doc Rivers. Because let's talk about all of the talented teams Doc Rivers has had at the fold. I mean, this nigga done coached a Kawhi Leonard. He's coached a Paul George. You understand what I'm saying? He won a championship with Double P. Ray Allen, Rondo, KG. But an argument could be made, would Doc Rivers had even won that championship if he didn't have that stacked ass team? I mean, I will wait. I will fucking wait. Right? So once again, Doc Rivers, he has coached multiple teams, but he has yet to get it done. So an argument can be made that him and James Harden are both on the hot seat. They both have to get it done. And James Harden especially, because didn't this man just sign another big time contract extension? Or he's going to sign one with Daryl Morey? So, I mean, goddamn, James Harden, my brother. Hey, man, if you thought you had some pressure on you in Houston, and then whenever you went and forced your way out of Houston, going to the Brooklyn Nets, teaming up and creating another super team that ultimately failed because they really didn't live up to expectations. Now that you done forced your way out of Brooklyn, going to the Philadelphia 76ers, with the amount of talent, with the perimeter shooting and defense that you have, with the inside play of Joel Embiid, you're playing alongside another NBA superstar, arguably a top 5 player. If you thought the pressure was insurmountable in Houston and in Brooklyn, then my man, playing in front of that Philly crowd, who is probably one of the hardest fan bases to ever play for, is going to be a thing to see. Because I'm going to tell you this, man, if you come out there in the playoffs, I ain't talking about the regular season. I'm talking about the playoffs. The playoffs? The playoffs? In my fucking Jim Moore voice. If you come out there in the playoffs and stink it up, go 3 for 25, or you shoot 4 for 16 and you're not being aggressive and you're not getting to the free throw line, and then whenever you get to the free throw line, you're missing free throws like you did against San Antonio that one year when you lost to them, when Kawhi Leonard wasn't even fucking playing. I mean, are you kidding me? Can you imagine what the Philadelphia 76ers fans are going to do and say to you through the media and the press? Because, oh my God, the media is just as bad. Them niggas are just as bad. These are the same niggas that booed Allen Iverson. So they don't give a shit. If you ain't producing, they don't give a fuck who you are. You understand what I'm saying? So if you are James Harden, all of the pressure is on your back and shoulders, because these Philadelphia fans are expecting for you to deliver, in my pop's voice, off of fucking Friday. A championship. A championship. There's absolutely no reason for you not to be able to get it done with the Philadelphia 76ers. I'm just keeping it above. I'm keeping it above. So my eyes are going to be peeled and locked and loaded on the goddamn James Harden. Because, hey, man, your reputation is not, it's not impeccable right now. People are looking at you a certain type of way. LeBron didn't even want to pick you. You understand what I'm saying? Your former teammate in Kevin Durant didn't even want to pick you. Hell, he didn't even want to answer questions about the shit. He was just basically like, look, everybody got what they wanted. But if you read in between the lines, that means he's basically telling us from the outside looking in that James Harden wanted out yet again. He wanted out yet again, because why else would the Brooklyn Nets steal him? Didn't make any sense. But shout out to my boy Bandale, and I apologize if I'm going in and out. Once again, I'm driving, man. I'm up early with it, talking about hoops on my way to the gym. I'm not on my laptop, so I apologize if I don't sound as crispy as I usually do. But shout out to my boy Bandale. He said, not a fan of Harden because he never shows up in the playoffs. Hey, man, rightfully so. That criticism is very fucking fair. I'm not going to get up in arms or, yell at you or try to debate you about that shit. I totally agree. James Harden is my guy. But for whatever reason, this man has yet to show up in the playoffs whenever it's time to show up. So you're absolutely correct. I would be 100% biased if I would say that you was tripping. No, you're not tripping at all. James Harden has never showed up in the playoffs. That is a motherfucking fact. James Harden is basically the Peyton Manning of the NBA. But Peyton Manning won the ring. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm saying, as far as putting up the regular season stats and the individual accolades and getting triple doubles and scoring 50 and 60 points with triple doubles, that's James Harden. He's a fucking walking bucket. He's electrifying. You understand what I'm saying? He's electrifying. There's nothing on the basketball court he cannot do, which is why I am not going to give him a pass for not getting it done this season unless he goes down with an injury. You understand what I'm saying? Then I'll be like, oh, okay, I'll give him a pass. But outside of that, if this nigga is 100% healthy, you understand what I'm saying? With everybody else healthy around him, with Doc Rivers being his coach, with Daryl Morey putting the pieces around him, because Daryl Morey is a great fucking general manager, man. I must give him credit. He is a player's man. He's a player's GM, right? And shout out to my nigga Poetic. I see you up in this bitch. He said, Suns might win it all. Hey, man, I agree. I said on my last live stream, I think the Suns should be the favorite coming out of the West, even over the Golden State Warriors, right? And then I got the Milwaukee Bucks, pardon me, as the favorites coming out of the East. That's just my personal opinion, man, based on how they're playing right now and based on last year. And then, too, I wouldn't really mind seeing a rematch because they played the other day, man, and that was one of the best games I've watched this year in basketball. So I wouldn't be opposed, Poetic, to seeing another Milwaukee and the Phoenix Suns rematch in the NBA Finals. There'll be a dope-ass finals, bro. Good-ass comment. Salute. Shout out to my nigga WJ, man. I apologize, man. I'm trying to drive. I'm multitasking. He said, good morning, fam. I am finally going back to work. Stay grinding. I appreciate that, my brother, and I hope you have a great day back at work. And I'm glad you shook that COVID-19, man. Much blessings to you and your fam, man. Salute. I was praying for y'all. I appreciate you for tapping in this morning, my guy. Poetic said the Nets not going to have everything together till next season. Yeah, that's a real objective way of looking at it, because I think the biggest hindrance to the Brooklyn Nets, Poetic, in my opinion, is their health. It's going to be their health. And then, too, how's this shit with Ben Simmons going to work? I think it could work, but I think it's only going to work if Steve Nash put the right pieces around him. Like, he's going to have to be able to surround him with 4 knockdown shooters. That's what I would do. I would keep KD at the 5. Yeah, I mean, this would be my go-to lineup in the fourth quarter. I would have KD at the 5. I would have Ben Simmons playing the 4, but technically he's going to be playing the 1 because, of course, Kyrie Irving is the 2 now. Same shit they was doing with James Harden, right? Kyrie Irving is more of a scorer than a point guard. We get that. And then I would have Steph Curry in the game along with Joe Harris. But Joe Harris don't show up in the playoffs. He did not show up in this past year's playoffs. So that's a hit or miss. But I think they got another guy that can knock down shots. So we'll just have to see. But that's what I would do, bro, in order for that to work. Vandell said, the rumor is that Harden grew frustrated because of the Kyrie Irving situation and Durant injury. He felt he was being asked to do too much. And I agree with the Peyton Manning comparison. But damn shit, that makes sense. I mean, because it seems as though to me, whenever the tough gets going, James Harden wants out. He don't want to be able to, have all that pressure. He don't want to deal with I got to score 35 or 40 points every night. But shit, I'm going to tell you this. He may have to do that in Philly. Even with Joel Embiid averaging 30 points, he's still going to have to pull and carry the weight to some sort of extent because, shit, they're going to need scoring because can you really count on Tobias Harris to give you 20 points on a night-in and night-out basis? He's one of the most inconsistent young up-and-coming all-stars in the game. And I'm not taking nothing away from him because he can ball. But James Harden going to have to produce, Bandel. But that's a hell of a point, bro. Salute. Poetic said the Jazz are a huge sleeper team. They're a sleeper team. They got pieces. I like, Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert. I know they just traded Joe Ingles, though, Poetic. I don't like them getting rid of Joe Ingles. I don't like that. I know they got Mike Conley, but he's a bit injury prone as well. He's never reached his full potential in the NBA, in my honest opinion. They got pieces, but do I think they can beat the Phoenix Suns? You understand what I'm saying? Or the Golden State Warriors? Nah, I don't think so, Poetic. I don't think so. I still think they're one of those teams that are on the rise. I think they need one more part. They need one more piece to pair up with Donovan Mitchell. That's my opinion, though. Poetic said the Warriors have no interior presence. Aiden will eat the Warriors alive in a 7-game series. I disagree. Because you got to keep in mind, Poetic, that James Wiseman should be coming back sometimes this year, right? And then, too, nigga, they got Draymond Green. What do you mean they don't have a goddamn inside presence? Draymond Green is one of, if not the best, perimeter defenders and interior defenders in the game. I think Draymond is probably the best defender in the NBA. I'm going to keep it a buck. So I got to disagree with you on that, my brother. I think he'll be able to deal with 8. I do. But salute. Bandel said, I got the Nets winning it all if they are healthy. I don't know, bro. That's the thing. If they are healthy, that's a huge question mark. Because we know what Kevin Durant is. We know Kevin Durant is a drop draws, productions specialist. I mean, this nigga is basically Burger King. How do you want it? You want me to do it to you on the perimeter? You want me to hit you with the double crossover, pull up? You want me to hit you with the hezzy, pull up? You want me to hit you with the post-game fadeaway, pull up? I mean, Kevin Durant can do whatever the fuck he want to do on the court. I mean, my Lord. Kevin Durant is probably the greatest scorer in NBA history. I'm gonna just throw that out there because the nigga 7-1 doing shit that Jordan and fucking Kobe was doing. I mean, are we kidding? Who are we fooling? Who are we fooling, man? We talking about Kevin fucking Durant. You know who I am. Y'all remember when he said that shit in that Clipper series? You know who I am. I'm Kevin fucking Durant. You understand what I'm saying? So that's a good observation, man. But the thing is, will Kyrie Irving be able to play in them fucking home games, though? Bandale, will Kyrie Irving be able to play? And I just pulled up to the gym, y'all. Let me get through the rest of these comments before I get my reps in. Poetic said, Bandale, you right about Harden, reasons for leaving. Yeah, man. He made a hell of a point. Poetic said, Donovan Mitchell, a superstar. He ain't a piece. No, see, Poetic, you don't fucking listen to nothing I say. I said, yes, he is a superstar, but he needs another piece because Rudy Gobert is not the superstar that's going to help him get it done offensively. And Jordan Clarkson is a sixth man. He's not a superstar that you can count on in the playoffs whenever the game slows down and whenever those teams key in on what Donovan Mitchell like to do. Because at the end of the day, Donovan Mitchell is a 6'2 shooting guard. So it's going to get very tough for this nigga to put up buckets whenever the game slows down in the playoffs. We've seen this shit time and time again with smaller players outside of, guys like Kyrie Irving. But he's an anomaly because this nigga is just fucking awesome. But we're talking about Donovan Mitchell, who is also awesome, but he ain't no goddamn Kyrie Irving is what I'm saying. Bandale said Durant, Kyrie, Simmons, Mills, and Aldridge, and Drummond close to close out. Patty Mills is clutch. Yeah, man. I agree with you on that. That's a hell of a lineup. And then we can't forget about LA Fitness, a.k.a. LaMarcus Aldridge, because we know he can come in and drop draws from the 15 to 17 feet. We know he can shoot with the best of them. Good comment. Poetic said James Wiseman ain't nobody to be not trying to go to the paint. Come on now, bro. He is a big fucking body. He's a big body. The nigga was 6'10", 6'11", and he's athletic, and he's a lefty who can bring the ball up the court, who can block shots, who can hit perimeter shots, and who has a high motor and a basketball IQ. I don't think you watched James Wiseman play whenever he was playing the last, 1 or 2 years. I don't think you've been watching the NBA, Poetic. You tripping, bro. That's a fucking big body. And then Kevin Looney been playing pretty damn good as well. So I disagree with you. I just think you got something against Golden State. It's cool because you was the same nigga saying that Golden State ain't shit. If you get physical with them, Steph can't do shit. Clay can't do shit. See, I disagree with all that dumb shit you be talking about when it comes to Golden State. And I'm no Golden State fan. Hell, I'm not even a Steph Curry fan. But I must be objective and unbiased when it comes to this shit. But, man, make sure y'all hit that like button. It's about to be 6:30 my time. I've been on this bitch for 23 minutes, man. I really like coming on in the morning talking about the NBA. I think tomorrow I might skip a gym day just so I can come on in the morning, right? And sound better and be able to give a better show. But salute to everybody that was in this bitch, man. Hit that like button. I see I got 8 people in this hoe. I'm going to try to double back tonight and talk some boxing, man. But if I don't, I'll definitely be on tomorrow. But salute, man. Hit that like button for your boy E Thriller. And just like that, I'm gone. Holla.